Hi, everyone. Transform in the dictionary has many meanings: to change in composition or structure, to change in outward form or appearance, or to change character or condition. But for Christians, it has a different meaning. I never understood why people needed to change. I knew as people get older, they get wiser. But that didn't necessarily mean they had to change who they were. But transformation wasn't necessarily about changing your character or who you were as a person, but it was more about understanding and making transformation that made you live a life that is more meaningful. I admit I was very arrogant in many ways. I always thought I was the best at many things, and if I wasn't, I knew if I worked hard at it, I can become good. Trying to be better than everyone made me lack the understanding for others. Instead of trying to understand, I would just try to correct them if I thought they were doing something wrong. And this mindset itself was me being arrogant. So this style of living naturally gave me the mindset where I only live and did things that was beneficial to me and only me. I didn't care who I was hurting or affecting on my journey to become the best. I just knew that I wanted to be the best and always be the one that was in control of my own life. So even going into transforming life class, I didn't think I needed any changes, and I thought I was already living a good life. So I thought, but things started to change. One major part of transforming life is spiritual excitement, where we pick one thing we need to most change about our lives. We were given a week before class to think about what we needed to change, but I thought I was already good, so I didn't even think about it until the day before, and even then I still didn't know what my spiritual assignment should be. As everybody began to share, they started sharing about the things they were doing bad or things they wanted to improve in. So I began to think to myself, what was the one thing that I needed to change? I don't think I gave too much thought to it at that time and thought maybe I should just try to change the way I speak. And that was mostly swearing. I was really good at swearing, and now I know it was nothing to be proud of. When I'm with my boys, every sentence ended with some type of swear word. And even sometimes I can go on for minutes just swearing for no reason. And I never knew it was something I needed to change, and I always thought it was okay. I don't think I was hurting anybody, at least not directly from swearing. In a way, I thought it made me look cool. I was just very arrogant in many ways, and I was just consistently telling myself it's okay. However, swearing is viewed as an act of carelessness, and the Bible has many things to say about careless acts and words. Matthew chapter 12:36 says, "On the day of judgment, people will account for every careless word they speak." Whoa. And then, I never knew that swearing was one of the worst acts you can do, as described in the Bible, and knew I was in deep waters if I continued to live this lifestyle. So I knew I needed to change, not necessarily because of the position I was in as one of the leaders of the church, but in order for me to be a true man of God, a true follower of Christ, living an exemplary life, I needed to be able to put down an arrogant part of myself and try to transform. I wanted to change, but it was really hard. I didn't realize how much swearing was embedded in my life. I worked hard, and I tried to work extra hard to fix this problem. And even purposely not meeting with my friends, listening to Christian music, and just trying to put myself in a position where I would not swear. I needed to pretty much learn how to speak again, to think before speaking and learn to listen more. It was hard at first, but slowly God started to change me. And from small changes, and eventually I was able to fix a big issue in my life and understand that act of carelessness needed to be eradicated when serving God. Another big part of transforming life is learning about the disciplines of celebration. And these disciplines are the tools one needs to have a true transformation in their lives. There were overall 12 disciplines we learned throughout the class. And each discipline, although different, the main goal of each of the discipline was putting God's kingdom, God's work, and letting God ultimately control your life. So naturally learning about these disciplines and trying to shape my life according to them, it was very evident that I needed to make other changes in my life as well. It started with swearing, and for the better part of it, I was able to fix that problem. But it didn't end there. I started looking at my lifestyle and realized that God didn't really exist in my daily life. So I needed to create new habits. And one of the habits I was able to create was waking up early in the morning to spend time with God, to do QT, and have time to pray for all my house church members. It was not easy at first, but slowly I began to see God working. There were times where I was amazed by the Bible verse for the day because it truly felt like God was speaking to me. If something was in the back of my mind, God would use this time to speak to me and guide me on what I needed to do, how I should go on for that day, and even sometimes giving me encouragement by answering our house church members' prayer requests. Whether it was small or big, I was able to experience God working. Through this time, many things also started to happen to me as well. And with my old self, I could never see this coming. One thing was I started to find joy in serving others. Reaching out first to offer a hand of help and praying for others I would not normally pray for. Changes were happening, and I started to understand why this Bible study was called Transforming Life. It really did transform me. And I started to learn about the joy in serving others and being obedient to God. I thought I would never say this, but now I find joy in serving others and being obedient to God. It was all possible because I no longer wanted to have control of my life, but God was now controlling me. I learned to let go of my arrogant and selfish ways, and now understand the biggest thing about transforming our life was letting God ultimately take control of every situation and being obedient to Him. I know I still need many things to work on. I still have many things to work on, and just because the class ended, it doesn't mean I can stop here. It's only a starting point, and everything I learned will mean nothing if I just fall back to my old ways. So what does transformation mean for Christians? It means transforming our lives to know what true celebration is, which is obedient to God. Thank you everyone for listening, and I give all the glory to God.